Hello, listeners. Welcome to my podcast. Today, I will go to explain a very beautiful topic about cell, sustainability, society, and democracy. You know all the time that whenever any society suffers from malpractices, criminalization, and corruption, they used to say that it has turned into cancerous. But cancer, the term, is very used to denote the state of individual health when anybody suffers from the issue which is addressed as a very severe concern. And you know that cancer is nothing but the uncontrolled proliferation of the cell. If the cell normally functions in quite usual pattern, the cell maintains its homeostasis and sustainability by its natural course. But when, due to some ingredients, agents, and some genes, operate simultaneously, then the controlled cell division property is lost by the cell itself and it becomes cancerous by having a lot of symptoms, which sum total to be treated as cancer. And yet now, only in few cases except the cancer does not have any real answers. Now, if we think over the cell, how the cell becomes operational as far as the living human being is concerned, then it's a matter of great pleasure to know that cell has its own sustainability and it can perform by very democratic systems. Let's explore the beauty of democracy that enjoyed by the cell with the help of the symbiosis of the different kind of the organelles associated with the cell's structural and functioning attributes. If we think about the democracy, we very often use the very beautiful quotation from Abraham Lincoln that democracy is by the people, for the people, and of the people. If we think about the cell and its democratic behavior, we can say the cell functions itself for the cell, of the cell, and by the cell. Now, as far as the democracy is concerned, there are different characteristic features which is reflected in democratic setup, and they are independent judiciary, elected representative, civil liberties, organization opposition parties, and the rule of law. We should better here emphasize about the role of the law that is governed by certain natural principles to make the cell as the most dynamic and sustainable one. Let me to categorically explain the different functions of the cell as extended by the cell from time to time. Any democratic country needs a certain boundaries, certain walls, certain protective layers so as to it could not be affected by the external invasion. If you pay a glance to the cell, there will find the cell itself has a very integrated membrane system that not only restrict the entry and exit of all kind of the substances, rather it enjoy a degree of semi-permeability by which certain molecules can enter inside the cell and certain molecules which are toxic and which are undesired with the cell can be disposed of. So the cell always maintains a cell sustainable integrated systems for its defense and its operational approaches. The second beauty is that the cell can perform certain biochemical factors which act as the basic body building blocks. Say for example of the DNA. DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid, it has an autocatalytic property and heterocatalytic property. The autocatalytic property is extended by the DNA as a pleasure of the beauty to multiply itself, giving one cell to one DNA followed by two cell to two DNA and subsequently in a very exponential manner. Thus, from one cell, millions of cells are produced and at the birth of the baby of human, the number of the cell may go up to 10 to the power 23. What a beautiful episode here is being played by the cell itself by the majestic virtue of the DNA, which is to be treated as one of the important features of cell sustainability and its individual democratic behavior. We know without energy nothing is possible and cell is not beyond exception. Cell has an automatic energy liberating systems by which at the cost of the respiratory substrates and exposure of the oxygen, the cell can produce sustainable amount of the ATP all the time that enables to perform multiple functions starting from membrane integrity to the reproductions followed by the disposal of the different toxic substances. And without this energy, this cannot be possible, and it is mostly done by the mitochondria, one of the important cell organelles, which is basically derived from the mother, and that is why mother is treated as the mother of mitochondria of all individuals. The third one, the most important information being corresponding and sent by means of the protein, and this is one of the heterocatalytic properties of the DNA. The cell translates the message of the RNA into the language of the protein, and with these proteins, thousands and thousands of different kind of the characters are being reflected by the living cell, which is the beauty of the living organisms itself. And these proteins also build up certain catalysts that also catalyze the number of other biochemical reactions. So if we think about the transcription derived from the DNA followed by the translation, the cell can maintain its sustainability and democratic behavior at the cost of the different kind of other organelles without jeopardizing, without affecting the independence and general rule of the cell itself. Now, if we think about the another important beauty of the cell is concerned, then there you will find that the cell stored the information in the form of the DNA. We know life is an unknown and unpredictable journey, and if we think about the structure of the DNA, you will quite perplexed to know that DNA itself is just a structure that indicates the uncertainty of the life, because DNA remains in a helical fashion, and when the helix is unwinded right at the time, what will be happened? We will find what is the end of the horizon in the next layers. Thus, as far as the democratic behavior is concerned, the society, and that is beautifully explored if we have the detailed invasion of the cell in general and human body cell in particular. We are always concerned about sustainability, and if we want to talk about the sustainability, we always think that the one cell is not think itself for today, rather it can make an option for giving the birth of the new cells through which will ultimately sustain the beauty of the life. And this is called sustainability, and cell play very dynamic and homeostasis patterns at the cost of the different kind of inductions that comes from the environment as well as the surroundings, which play a very crucial role in this regard. Today we are talking about artificial intelligence, we are talking about the machine learning, we are trying to explore the beauty of the DNA and its different message encoded by itself by means of the different kind of the software supposed to have in future days. But if we explore the beauty of the cell and its usual pattern of the democratic behavior without the cost of the others, then you will find that surely the cell plays very crucial role in this regard to maintain its democratic patterns without affecting the others' organelles activities. It's a pleasure that this kind of the symbiosis is an awesome symbiosis, and the different organelles of the cell, they can perform themselves independently. Like in the democratic fund systems, all the democratic bodies can perform well to make the country a most dynamic one, the richest one as far as its dream and destination is concerned. So I think you have the pleasure of the journey of the cell and its democratic behaviors, and if it is to be properly reflected in the society, then the society also can perform any desired patterns and it can reach to its sustainability to overcome the different kind of the issues which are now present in the 21st century. So I think you can understand the cell, what's the beauty, and how the democratic setup of the cell can be reflected in society, provided the society can follow the basic principles of cell function. Then we have no longer to listen the very unfortunate incidents of the cancerous behavior of the society, like cancers in malpractices of cancers in society, malpractices of criminalization of the cancers in the society, or corruption of cancers in the society, and we are eagerly waiting for that day when the society no longer get ready to listen such undesired words like cancer in society. Sure, we can overcome cancer one day, and if we have a very little outlook and optimistic views, surely we can overcome the different kind of the cancers of society, like cancers that is malpractice, criminalization, and corruption, and that is the journey expected to us in the forthcoming days. Thank you for listening, and in the next episode, I'll bring you another new topic. Till then, stay with me and grow with science for your individual life. Thank you very much for